What's going on, guys? This is Sam, and today I want to talk about the iPod Touch 7, a product that so many people have been waiting on for a very long time. I want to talk about any of the latest leaks and rumors, and also follow up from September when I made a video talking about a model number for the iPod Touch 7 that was discovered in the iOS 11 GM. I was really excited back in September ahead of the iPhone 8 and the iPhone 10 being announced. Inside of the iOS 11 GM code, Ben Gaskin tweeted out that he found iPod 8,1. Gaskin's got a pretty good track record for sharing leaks, especially back in September when he tweeted this out, because he's the one who shared a lot of details about the iPhone 8 and the iPhone 10 ahead of their initial release. So when this was tweeted out, I got really excited, and Gaskin mentioned, this is probably just future-proofing, and then a developer also corroborated that claim, saying there's probably no new iPod Touch coming soon, but if Apple was to release a new model, the code is here, and they probably wouldn't have to change a lot if the iPod would ever be released. So I was pretty much convinced that maybe an iPod Touch was coming at Apple's September event alongside the new iPhones, and a lot of months later, it turns out that was actually not the case. The reason I wanted to make today's video was to talk about any of the latest leaks and rumors that we've been hearing for the iPod Touch 7, and also share some pretty crazy speculation, but speculation that isn't that crazy if you really sit down and think about it. So as far as leaks and rumors go, I'm going to be upfront with you, there hasn't been anything. No sources abroad or in the United States have been saying that a new iPod Touch is in the works or that one's even coming, and that leads me to fear that Apple's going to discontinue the iPod Touch line soon, because while Apple still sells the 6th generation iPod Touch on apple.com, it's ridiculously outdated, and it's a product that I could recommend maybe a year or two ago, but in 2018 absolutely cannot recommend because the camera, the specs, the screen is largely outdated now. But I want to share some speculation with you anyway that has no actual backing, but something that I think is possible. It's fueled by a few comments that I read, and it got me thinking about it, that maybe a new iPod Touch is actually on the way. So a few weeks back, we saw a leaked EEC document, a Eurasian Economic Commission document, that Apple had filed for marketing permissions for new devices in certain areas or certain countries, and they have to do this to market new devices. And in this document, Consumac hypothesized that these were the iPhone SE2 models. There were 11 new iDevice type models that were on this leaked document. And every time that Consumac acquires this document from Apple that was filed through the EEC, it means that new products are coming. With the new iPad in March, we saw the same thing happen, and at WWDC 2017, ahead of new iPads and new MacBooks as well, I believe, the exact same thing happened. Consumac acquired this document, and then products launched. So there's been a lot of speculation and a lot of hypothesizing, specifically from Consumac, that these new iPhone models would be the iPhone SE2. That would sort of line up with what the rumors have been suggesting. The iPhone SE2 hasn't seen a refresh in 2 years. There's been a lot of hard leaks and rumors about it. We've seen images of what it could possibly look like. So that would probably be the most likely option, and I still think that is the most likely option. But 11 is a very high number and doesn't seem realistic for all 11 models, especially because it is an odd number, to be exclusively the iPhone SE2. So some of you have actually hypothesized in the comment section when I made that video that a new iPod Touch could be coming, and that rather than all 11 of those models being for the iPhone SE2, maybe just a couple, 1, 2, or 3, could actually be for the iPod Touch 7. I feel like we would have heard some rumors about the iPod Touch now, at least something saying a new model is coming, but we saw some code back in the iOS 11 GM. Maybe Apple was working on it then, and maybe they are preparing to release some new models of an iPod Touch soon. Conversely, that's all speculation, so maybe the iPod Touch is dead. Maybe we will never see a 7th generation version that so many of us have been looking forward to for such a long time. Of course, I have to hear your thoughts on this down below. Let me know what you think about this crazy speculation. If Apple released a new iPod Touch 7 for only $200 or $300, would you be buying one? And if so, what color would you like to see it in? That's all I wanted to talk about in this video. I hope an iPod Touch comes. If any news about the iPod Touch happens whatsoever, I will be sure to make a video on it. So hit subscribe down below so you don't miss out on that. And if you enjoyed this video, if you learned something new, or if you enjoyed the speculation, feel free to drop a like as well. If you want to support me over on Patreon, that'd be amazing. You can also grab a t-shirt to support the channel over on shop.iupdateos.com. That would be amazing. For now, I've been Sam. I hope all of you are doing great. Let's hope we hear about a new iPod Touch soon, and I'll talk to you in my next video.